Hello, my name is Shoji, and today we are going to answer the question: how does it feel to use Linux? Some people say that switching to Linux is nearly impossible due to its incompatibility with most programs and games. Moreover, I will tell you about my story, switching to Linux, and my impressions. So let's get to it. Firstly, let's be honest, Windows isn't the greatest operating system. The amount of unnecessary updates it gets is just ridiculous. My dad bought an ebook with 32 gigs of capacity. Today, all Windows weighs so much that he doesn't have any space at all. And the worst part of it is that we can't replace it because it's integrated to the motherboard. Moreover, in one of the updates, Windows messed up the sound driver and I still can't fix it, even by installing other operating system. Meanwhile, for example, Ubuntu distro weighs only 8 gigs and it's fully compatible with this notebook. That's only one of the problems Windows has. Now let's go ahead to my story. I've been thinking about using Linux since a very long time. I watch a lot of Linux videos on YouTube. Whole concept of open source and high privacy is just beautiful. And then the big day came. Around 2 weeks ago, I wanted to chill by playing some games. I launched it and boom, blue screen. Well, it happens sometimes, I thought. I rebooted it, started all over again, and gained the same result. It was not the first time I've experienced this problem. To be honest, I've been using Windows since I was 4. I tested my computer by multiple software, benchmarked every single part of it, and still nothing. Usually, for this kind of problems, reinstalling the operating system solved the case. However, at this moment I've been thinking, is there any reason for me to use Windows anymore? Maybe I'll try something new. And then I've decided to give Linux a try. I've chosen the Pop! OS distro because it was really Ubuntu-like and I knew this OS from school managing servers, so... Okay, let's slow down for a bit. Why did you choose Pop! OS? There are many other distros better than it. The reason I've chosen Pop! OS is simple. Partly because I've googled some stupid search like the best gaming distro and it showed up. It was featured as an operating system with low specs and high compatibility, even for Linux. The second reason is that I'm really lazy. I needed something that is simple, and even if I meet something hard pass, the Linux community could help me. To be honest, the community here is 1000 times smaller than the Windows, but it's way better. The people here are very helpful and can explain in easy words to such an idiot as me. Back to story. When I've installed the system, I've configured it in the way I liked and downloaded various programs. I was surprised that many programs I've used on Windows are working on Linux as well. And even if some software didn't work, I could replace them with other, in some cases better than the original. I was really happy and satisfied, so I've decided to use it. Few days had passed and I've been constantly learning more and more. I was so happy that even the fact that I use Linux motivated me to dig in deeper and deeper. But then I realized something bad. Really bad. Pop! OS was fast, especially for the first hours of using the PC. I'm a student and I spent a very long time in front of my screen. However, something was wrong. Every boot, after third hour of usage, my system was experiencing random lag spikes for half a second. It was really annoying and painful to do anything in that stage. Obviously, PC reboot solved the problem, but I didn't install Linux for having these weird things. It didn't happen to me on Windows either. So, I've decided to make another step. I removed the Pop! OS and installed Ubuntu. I don't want to explain why I installed Ubuntu, but for this video, let's just say it has the highest compatibility with all Linux software. I was done using Pop! OS. I just wanted to rest. Well, I'm not fully sure. I can just speculate about it. In my opinion, the reason why system was slowing down was me. During the usage, I've installed various of stuff, and I'm the type of person that plays operating system looking over anything. I used GNOME tweaks to install themes, icons and other type of stuff just to make my operating system prettier. The other reason was my laziness. For example, when I removed some apps, I didn't clean them up. Well, even in Linux, some apps comes with some other stuff which have to be installed in order to work properly. If you want to fully remove it, you should uninstall those tiny things as well. But because I was switching from Windows, I hadn't done that. My bad. Now, we are moving to a really sad part of this video. Well, I will make this straight. Linux isn't for gaming. Not yet. Some games I had played before weren't just working for some reason, like League of Legends. Even with the Proton implementation on Steam, some games just weren't launching or had some glitches that made the game unplayable. Even OS installed by a one line in terminal wasn't launching for some reason. I fixed it by myself, but there is another bug that makes the game audio just unenjoyable. The reason why Linux isn't for gaming is this never-ending circle. Very few people use Linux, so the game developers aren't writing games on Linux. So people don't use Linux because developers aren't writing games on Linux, and this goes on and on. However, in my opinion, it's the matter of time when Linux will be suited for gaming as well. Well, let's just cover the driver topic. Having Nvidia or AMD card using Linux is just like having the cutest dog in the world, and instead of taking him to the contest, you'll never take him out. I mean, the drivers are not so polished as on Windows. You can really much leave the GPU driver how it is, and it will work anyway. In Linux, you have to spend some time looking for the working driver, testing it, comparing with others, and so on. I think Linux works really good on notebooks. It automatically detects hardware and installs the driver for us which aren't so obvious on Linux. Well, I have to say, I was surprised. In Windows, we use the command prompt rarely, usually to execute code or something else. Meanwhile, in Linux, I wanted to use terminal to do something faster. For example, I didn't have to go to the developer website to download the software. I could download it by a single command. Isn't that beautiful? You can pretty much do anything by using it. Another thing to say is the fact that it's really fast. The amount of time it took to boot up and start our apps was like lightning. Well, Windows was fast either, but it took definitely longer. In the end, I have to say it's different, but some similarities are occurring. For example, if something doesn't work, you can still ask the internet why and how to fix it. However, while looking for an app, you need to add the suffix for Linux, sadly. I can't give a straight answer. If you are just tired of Windows and don't play too much, then I would recommend it. However, if you want to play various types of games on multiple platforms, I would rather not. It's not because that the game won't work. To be honest, all the games I was playing back then were in some way playable, but the amount of time it takes to make it work is not just worth the price. Even if the game might work on Linux based like Lucis, Wine or both, have slightly worse performance than on Windows, or you experience some bugs and glitches, it's just not worth it. Thank you guys for watching this episode. If you wish to see more of this content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.